Hey nesters, welcome back to Nesting Haven. Today we're back at Goodwill doing some thrift shopping. This is part 2, so if you missed part 1, I will go ahead and link that down in the comments below, so go back and check that out. But yeah, we're back at Goodwill. This was my first trip back since Goodwill has been shut down for the last couple of months, so I was really excited to get back out thrifting, as I know many of my fellow thrifters are. And yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised that they had a decent amount on the shelves. I was going in with low expectations because I had gone to the store before and they are kind of a smaller store, but given the size, I felt like, it's not as much as I'm used to, but I felt like they still had enough to sift through and I was able to find some pretty neat things. So let's go ahead and check it out and see what they had in store today. So what we are looking at here are some falls graph pieces. Falls graph does not sell very well at this point in time. So as soon as I saw this falls graph, I was like, yeah, probably not. But this is in the Amalfi pattern. The last sold on the sugar and creamer together was only $8.75. So I think it would have cost about $4 to purchase it. It would have been about a $4 profit. So for all the work, $4 is probably not worth it. The gravy boat goes for about $10. So, if you can get them for dirt cheap, definitely worth it probably, but you always have to wait around and find someone that is looking for that particular pattern as well. So you kind of have to keep that in mind. Not everyone's just going to want that particular one just because they like the design of it. Usually they have a set going. I was looking through just about everything at the thrift store. Since it's been so long, I didn't want to really leave any stone unturned. This was a really cool decor piece. Maine hockey is very popular, so I thought that was pretty neat there. And then they had a bunch of these vintage, probably from around the 1970s or 80s, tennis rackets. They have leather handles on them. They had a full set of 4 there. They were only asking $2 a piece for it, which I thought was a pretty great deal. I do usually just stick with home decor, especially vintage items, as far as reselling and collecting. That is my choice to decorate in my own home as well. But I do have a soft spot for sports things, you know, memorabilia and things like that. And since I do sell on eBay now, not just Etsy, I can pick up things like this to resell. They do pretty well. These are just some car window flags, and they seem to be in pretty good shape there. So I'm not a Minnesota Twin fan. It's not in my area, but yeah, I figured someone would enjoy those. I absolutely loved the cover to this photo album, and I was all set to pick it up, but then they had this really nasty chunk of something on the front, and I could tell if I went to peel it off, it would rip off the kind of paperboard to it, so I ended up leaving it there just because of that reason. My subscribers know that this definitely came home with me. You don't even have to question it, right? It's green glassware. I fell in love with this little hand-painted vase, and I was excited to put it in my cart, and of course I saw a giant crack down the side here. I looked around it a little bit more and I found another crack, and it wasn't too expensive, so I will tell you I ended up picking it up, and I normally won't pick up anything that's cracked, but it was just such a cute little vase. I likely might just keep it for myself. Maybe, you know, maybe no one's gonna be interested in it, you know, to purchase it for more money than I paid for it, you know, with it broken. And I mean, look at this. This was broken too, and that was super adorable. But yeah, it's always tricky whether you want to pick up things that have a little bit of damage to it at the thrift stores, because they are one-of-a-kind pieces, especially the vintage items, and you just hate to see it, you know, end up in the landfill or something. So I will probably enjoy that vase myself. I thought this olive dish was really neat. I've never seen these before. I assume the 2 cups are for toothpicks and maybe used toothpicks. I'm not really sure what the purpose of the 2 cups are, but I thought it was really adorable. Unfortunately, one of the little vessels there had some crazing on it, and it just made the piece look a little weird. I definitely would have got it if it wasn't for that crazing. You know, some people like crazing, but when I find it just to be in one little spot on a piece, it just doesn't look right to me. So I opted not to get it because of that reason. These plates were kind of cute here. I believe they were put out by Home Interiors, Home Co plates here, and yeah, they're cute. Not really my thing, but I thought, you know, they're pretty nice for what they are. I know I always say this, but I rarely ever find any purple decor, and unfortunately this was flashed glass, so it had worn off a bit. Had that been in perfect condition, I definitely would have snagged that up. Oh my goodness, how precious is that photo of the baby? Ugh, that was gorgeous. They had a few pieces of furniture in the middle of the aisle. They had this really cool mid-century table set, and you know, they only had $30 on it, but there's a reason why it was so cheap. I gave it the shake test, and you know, you just kind of hang on to the side of the table and it was really wobbly, so I'm sure it has been well loved through the years. It looked cool, but not such good structure to it. You guys know I just had to look at the cookbooks before I left. I found a small section of cookbooks there. They had a few. I ended up picking up like 3 or 4 of them, I believe. But yeah, they didn't have too much of a selection. This one here is one I already have in my own collection, but I knew it probably would be a good resale item. But that is going to do it for this thrift along with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the thrift haul of everything I purchased in tomorrow's video. And subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and we will catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.